This week's episode of The Grid is sponsored by Impix. Shoot today, upload tonight, we ship tomorrow. Manfrotto. Imagine more. On One Software, software that gets you back to shooting. Adorama, more than a camera store. And Tiffin, helping create the world's greatest images.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Grid. We are back from our holiday break. Man, do we have a cool show for you.
I thought you were saying, man, did we have a good holiday break?
Man, did we have a good holiday. We had an awesome holiday break, but we got a great show to start off the new year. We have, of course, Matt Klaskowski here, as always. I say as always, but he's a lot of time he's on the road.
Hey, I got no trips planned for the next.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. But we're very, very excited because there's a perfect guy to have here for our topic, and one of the best-known wedding photographers and trainers in our whole industry, Mr. David Ziser.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing, Commodore?
Thanks for being here. Thanks for letting me be here today. I'm doing fine.
Excellent. You didn't have to dress up for us. We're very casual on the show. we're pretty.
Dude, this is casual.
This is casual. This is no tie.
This is as casual as
his
it gets.
jammies. These are his jammies. This is what he wears to sleep.
Can I tell a quick David Ziser story? So I was flying into Cincinnati to teach a seminar last year, and I get an email from David saying, hey, I have the day off. I'll pick you up from the airport. I just got to run down to the car place and get my car, whatever it was. I was like, oh, okay, come pick me up. So he picks me up just like that. I'm like, Dave, this is your day off.
That's a day off, dude.
I'm in flip-flops and shorts on my days off, but nope, he had the suit on.
I tell you, flip-flops and shorts in Florida, not down here, not this week.
Yeah, it's cold here, so it's very, very cold where we're at. Hey, we would love for you to join the conversation. So if you'd like to, you can, of course, send us a comment right here. You can send any comments to Pound the Grid Live if you're Pound the Grid Live. If you're on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, guess who's here today? That's right. She's international. She's the ambassadress. That's new.
Doesn't work if you make me laugh.
Can you take another drink there? That's new. I have not seen that one, man.
Yeah. It is my French mustache.
Nancy Massey.
Hi, everybody.
So you missed a couple of shows. You were kind of like taking time off and all?
Yeah.
What's with that?
I needed a little break.
You needed a break. We'd beat her to the ground, and she had to take some time off. Well, it's good to have you back, Nancy.
It's good to be back.
And can you pronounce your shirt?
Meh.
I asked Nancy, how you doing, Nancy? She goes, meh.
Meh.
Then she points to her shirt. All right. Well, we are very happy to have you guys here with us because it's our first show back from the break, and we took some time off, and we're tan, rested, and ready. Not really. A couple things I want to talk about. First, I'm on tour. I've kicked off. I've got a couple more dates left for my Light It, Shoot It, Retouch It tour. I'm going to be in Austin, Texas. Man, they got good barbecue there on January 30th. So I hope that you will come. Go to KelbyTrainingLive.com and sign up. I hope you'll come. It's $99 if you're a NAP member, $79 if you're not. No, I'm sorry. $99 for the public, $79 if you're a NAP member. If you sign up early, you can probably get 10 more bucks off. But it's a fun day, and I hope you'll come and join me.
You got to go to Chewy's for dinner.
That's the place. Chewy's. I'm going to go to Chewy's in Austin, and I'm trying to weasel RC into going with me because he has this thing about Austin. He shot the state capitol, and he's got all kinds of connections. So maybe RC will be going with me. If he comes, I told him I'm putting you on stage, man. You're going to have to work. Let's see a couple other things. Our teleprompter is down, so we actually what's weird is we just did a review of, I kid you not, like 35 teleprompters. We packed them all back up in the box, and then our teleprompter, sensing fear, broke. We have no teleprompter. So we have telepaper. So let's see what else. Oh, we have prizes. We're going to give away Matt's book here.
I love this prize.
Composite
my
Deceiver
favorite
book.
prize.
Great book from Matt.
Yeah.
We're going to give away my Portrait Retouching Techniques book. Not so good. And we're going to give away a ticket to any one of my seminars coming up here. And now I'm going to let David tell you about this because besides my own tour, I am speaking at an event that David is organized called the Pro Expo, and it's in the greater Cincinnati area.
There you go.
Come on. He mentioned Cincinnati's a perfect segue. Tell us about the event, and then you got a cool giveaway and a deal.
We do. It's Photo Pro Expo. It's probably one of the top photographic events happening in the Midwest. We have 16 speakers coming by. You, of course.
I'm speaking.
Scott's coming by. We have Jerry Johannes, one of the top wedding photographers in the country, coming by.
That guy's good. Jerry Johannes?
Yep. Pulitzer Prize winning. Vincent LaForest is coming by.
Vincent LaForest? What?
Sarah Petty has his Joy Marketing. She's coming by. She's one of the top marketers in the world, and she's got this whole big thing going on right now with I Do Weddings. Scott Cohen, Lindsay Adler, Joel Grimes.
Joel Grimes.
Great
Dude.
guy.
Joel Grimes, great photographer. His compositing stuff is insane. Sorry.
Yes.
Go on.
Sil Arena's coming by. Just had a phone call with it on the way over.
Sil.
He's coming on up for us. Just a lot of great people. And it's 4 solid days. We're doing print competition. You win up to $5,000 in the print competition. Members can enter that. That's cool. And then Friday, all day of programming. Saturday, programming and a great trade show. I tell you what's cool going on in the trade show Saturday and Sunday is we have Westcott. You know what they do at Photoshop World?
Yeah,
They bring
the
in
live shoots.
The live wedding shoot with the models. We got them doing that for us too. It's going to be very, very cool.
I'm teaching Saturday, right?
Yes, you are. As a matter
Oh,
of
I'm
fact.
busy that day. Doggone it. I'm getting my hair done. I'm getting some spikes.
Yeah.
Spike tips and stuff.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll have that all taken
Blonde.
care of for you.
Blonde, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But anyway, what's so cool about it, though, is the price of this thing is unbelievable. It's normally $279. We've got codes out there. You can get it for $100 off. Makes it $179. But because I'm on the grid here today, you can use the code.
If you call.
If you use the code PPE, GRID 12, that'll
PPE
Grid.
PPE
Grid
12.
That will get you $140 off that $179 or $279 price, bringing it down to $139.
$139. How many days is it?
4 days. Print competition, 3 days of programming, trade show. It doesn't get any better than that. With the lineup of talent, how can you go wrong?
It's seriously insane. And you're going to give away one ticket, right?
We're going to give away one ticket for Photo Pro Expo to one of our viewers here today. Too.
We also have a bonus giveaway. I'm not going to tell you about it because it's part of the show. But we have a bonus giveaway of 5 cool things coming up later. And where do they go for information about the conference?
Oh, it's easy. Just go to photoproexpo.com. You can get all the information. The whole website's right there. And just remember to use the code PPE Grid 12. There it is up on the screen right now. And go ahead and save $140. $139 for that program. Unbelievable.
Can I ask you a question? Are you teaching there?
I'm not.
I know. I'm looking at the instructor list. I'm going, where are you, David?
But
how come I'm there? I'm teaching, but you're what? Just schmoozing?
I'm emceeing there, as a matter of fact.
Oh, man. Schmooze City. Okay. Anyway, what else? There's one last other thing we wanted to talk about.
Light It Magazine.
Light It Magazine.
Issue number 4 is out. So we've actually gotten 3 issues out in like the last 3 weeks.
We got, 3 issues. And so since it launched in August, we've gotten 4 issues out.
Yeah, but 3 issues in the last 3 weeks. So Light It Magazine, it is a magazine. It's an iPad-only magazine dedicated totally to lighting. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a free issue out there on the iTunes App Store. And then, of course, there are 3 more issues. Issue number 4 is out, and you can get them for $2.99.
$2.99, and it's all about hot shoe flash and studio lighting and things like that. So
very cool.
Very, very cool.
We like it a lot.
And let's see what else. That's pretty much it. Our
Break.
topic today. We have a very, very good topic because it's not what it's going to sound like it's one thing, but it's kind of another. The topic is, do you need a professional photographer? Now you're thinking, I am a professional photographer. Why?
You don't
probably
answer
answering
this.
No,
Yeah.
no. This is a bigger topic than that. But so the topic is, do you answer? So it's a general question. It's not based towards you because you probably are a professional photographer. But it's something very important to professional photographers. We're talking about this and a whole bunch more. Taking your questions, and at the end of the show, if we have time, and we think we're going to have intimate time. What do you call it, Matt?
Intimate moments with Scott.
Intimate moments, not with Scott. It's just intimate moments.
I like intimate moments
where
with
you can
Scott
ask
better.
us anything about anything. So it's a very embarrassing part of the show. So I hope you'll stick around for that. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, do you need a professional photographer?
See that?
We'll find out. Stick around.
At Adorama, our trained staff share your love of photography and can help you find what you're looking for. Our inventory is stocked with all types of cameras and accessories you need. Adorama has it all. Adorama, more than just a camera store. Visit us at 42 West 18th or at adorama.com.
Well, hi, folks. My name is Scott Kelby, and I want to tell you about a brand new class that I have on Kelby Training Online called Crush the Composition. Why are there so many books about composition today? Why are they all the same? If you went back to the 1940s and bought a book on composition, what do you think those chapters would be? Rule of thirds, and leading lines, and fill the frame, and patterns, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, wow, here it is, 2011, and we're going over the same things that we did years and years and years ago. There's a whole different concept to getting a great shot. It's what makes your pictures go from these kind of pictures that you're disappointed with to the kind of pictures that you've always wanted to take. So I invited a small, intimate live audience to join me in an amphitheater at night under the stars for an evening that's different than anything we've done at Kelby Training. I think this class has the power to transform the way that you look at photography, the way you take images, and I think it can also be your key to getting the best images you've ever taken. I hope you'll come and watch my brand new class on Kelby Training, Crush the Composition. I guarantee you tomorrow, you'll take the best shots you've ever taken.
Hey, we are back. If you just joined us, Scott Kelby here with Matt Kluskowski and our special in-studio guest, the one, the only, the beautiful David Ziser.
The well-dressed.
The very, very well-dressed David. We got to remember to send him a memo. Dress down. So
T-shirts.
T-shirts, yeah.
Hey, we got a couple of comments already pouring in. JDN Photo says, I needed a professional photographer today. I had to take my own photo. Miller Mountain Man says, question, what is a professional photographer? Qualifications. Well,
You can make money.
yeah, I guess I think the textbook definition of a professional, and I've read all different ones, but it's someone that makes their living from something else that other people make their hobby from. So
That's a good way of saying it.
Like if you repair cars in your garage, that's a hobby. But if all of a sudden people start paying and you're making a living for it, then you've become a professional. It's not based on how good you are.
Right.
It's based on whether people are paying you. So that's professional.
And it doesn't make any difference how much they're paying you, whether it's this much or this much.
Right.
You're still a professional
That's
photographer.
right. You're still a
Yeah,
professional.
and because when you say make a living, I mean, it doesn't mean that my sole income has to be off that.
No,
I think I can make a portion of my income.
Right.
And still be qualified.
And if you enter competitions, sometimes that when they tell you what the qualifications are to enter the pro category, it would be you make 60% of your living from photography or something like that.
Right.
There's all kinds of, but anyway, but that's kind of what it is. Michelle Hedstrom, I know it says M Hedstrom, but we know it's Michelle. Shouldn't we be striving for greater, better than it's good enough? Isn't that the problem as photographers we have with mom with camera and stuff? Well, Michelle, you just set me up for today's topic. So I want to tell you how the topic came about, because these are things, our topics usually come from things that happen to us during the week.
Yeah.
And it almost usually comes together the day before or the day of. And so Matt and I were talking this morning, and I read this article, and unfortunately I couldn't find it today. RC and I were looking, we couldn't put our hands on it, but I found another one very much like it. And the name of the article, I think it was from somebody on Google+, it was exactly this: do you need a professional photographer? So I thought, well, that sounds interesting. I'm going to go ahead and read it. And basically what he said is, yes, of course you need a professional photographer. And he listed all of the reasons why a consumer should hire a professional photographer. Now, I don't know of a professional photographer's website that you go to that doesn't list the reasons anymore, right? Because everyone's trying to say, no, we're professionals and hire us. So I found one, and this is a very well-written article by Jen Schmidt Photography. She has a blog. It's jenschmidtphotography.com/blog. And I went to her website when I searched for, do you need a professional photographer? Oh, there it is right there. Thank you guys for bringing that up. And she wrote almost exactly the same thing as the other guy had written. And basically what she says is, she did a talk, and she's giving the reasons of why you need to use a professional rather than an amateur. Pros have gear. They spend thousands, if not tens of thousands of money on their equipment. We have the big boy toys, and we know how to use them. They have backups of everything in case something fails, which on a wedding, of course, is absolutely necessary. They have experience. They work in rain and sleet and snow. They work in awful lighting conditions. They're used to working with nervous brides and family drama. They pay for continuing education. They perfect the craft full time rather than on the side. They have a professional workflow. They actually deliver the album. So they list all these things. And I'm reading this stuff, and it was the exact, almost verbatim of what was on the other post. And I realized, you know what the problem here is? Nobody cares anymore. And that's kind of what I want to talk. I want to bring up a couple of things. Is that the market has changed. I got a couple notes. I hate to have to read them down here because we usually have a teleprompter. But basically is oh wow, that's thank you. is that you used to only have to compete against other photographers, other professionals.
Right.
The playing field was you and the 5 other pro photographers in town.
Yeah, we were
how did
talking about this yesterday.
And how did they find those 5 other pro photographers? They went to the Yellow
Pages.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Now you're competing against the bride's cousin, the bride's friend's sister,
uncle,
the bride's
Uncle Harry.
uncle. You're competing against all these people that 5 years ago, 10 years ago weren't competitors. They were called the bride's family. Now they are our competitors. And so, but here's what it comes down to. We already know that, right? We already know that everybody's a photographer today. But the problem is, and here's what I think the bigger problem is, and this is leading to the real topic, which is, well, before I get to the real topic is the problem is, I actually wrote this down. I know, but it's, well, this hit me today when we were talking about this thing, because I've been talking about it during the day, and I have to read it off my iPhone, but I'm going to read it verbatim because I'm stupid. Hang on. It is, there will always be people who are willing to pay for quality, right? There's always going to be someone who realizes a great photographer makes a difference. The pictures have to look a certain way, and they're willing to pay for it. But the problem is, for 2 reasons, that group of people keeps shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. The number of people who realize that there is a difference in photography, that a pro photographer does make a difference, has gone from this to this. And 2 reasons. Number 1 is the economy.
Yep.
That
less money.
There's less money. People are struggling. They're worried about paying their rent. What's the average age of a couple getting married today? You probably know.
24, 25, 26. Somewhere in there, maybe late 20s even.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they're in the mid 20s, how many do you think have $5,000 to $10,000 for a wedding?
Oh, right, they don't. But
Right.
back
But
in the past, moms and dads paid for it.
Right. That's another thing that's changed. Moms and dads always picked up the bill for weddings.
Right.
Today it's less. So number 1 is there's the economy, which is huge. But number 2 is how good DSLRs have gotten and the proliferation of them. I was at SeaWorld, took my family to SeaWorld and Legoland this weekend. I've never seen more DSLRs. It was like a DSLR convention. Yep. Because, David, and you know this because you've been shooting for so many years, there was a time where if you had a DSLR, you were a serious photographer.
Oh, right.
The only people that had them were pros, basically.
Well, I come from the days of the medium format cameras, Hasselblads and so forth. So, you never shot a wedding unless you were a medium format user, and Hasselblads cost you $1 gazillion, Mamiya 645s.
They still do, by the way.
Exactly, they do.
For the digital back.
But here's the other thing that's happened too, is because I always like to talk to it about the cost of membership when we're doing something like this. Cost of membership was your camera, and you could go Hasselblad top end, you could go the Mamiyas, medium end, whatever. But cost of membership in the shooting was you also had to use film up until not too many years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So even if you were going to go out and do this just part-time, just make it easy, whatever, make a few extra bucks, your investment was still several $100s of film and processing. That went away with digital, and that's what opened the floodgates to all the new photographers out there shooting.
Right.
And then I joked about Yellow Pages. That was social media marketing.
Yeah, that was like marketing.
But so you went and you looked at all the Main Street photographers. Now it's Craigslist, it's Facebook, it's everywhere else under the sun. And I think part of the reason that people care a little bit less now is because they just get tired of looking and say, just book anybody. I think that's a little bit of it, too. I mean, they're trying. They look at the website. They think the work looks pretty good. Then they look at somebody else, and whatever. And they're saying, oh, my gosh, there's so many of these people. Let's just book somebody to get the job done.
Right. But can I tell you, this is, and Matt and I talked about this yesterday. In people being able to judge what's good, like you just said, they kind of look and just say, well, this one looks good, this one good. This is the best analogy I can think of. Guys, take your wife, your girlfriend, your fiance to Best Buy.
I like this one.
Take them to Best Buy and go to the audio department and turn on a $500 stereo and play a song and say, what do you think, honey? She'll go, sounds good. All right, here's this one. How's this one sound? Oh, that sounds good too. How much is that one? Well, that one's $5,000. How much was the other one? Well, it was $500. Well, they pretty much sound the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, to me, a guy, I'm like, because I think guys are hypersensitive to how audio sounds. Like my wife, I'm like, honey, it's a Bose, it's a this, it's a that, you know, and she's like,
Sounds like,
it sounds fine.
yeah.
Does she
I mean-
let you play your home theater loud?
No, she does not let me play my home theater loud. And
just
I
don't
gotta
get it.
No, women hate bass. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. It's sexist, I know it. Women hate bass. They hate it, they hate it, they hate it. Now we'll pause. Nancy goes, it's true. Man.
Because when you hear heavy bass, like,
Yeah, we love bass.
just
Men
makes
love
every
bass.
cell in your body.
We buy theater chairs with rumblers in it. We buy chairs that actually have a bass rumbler in it.
Yeah.
So when explosions go off, it shakes. And wives will go, oh, turn that down, turn that down.
Yeah, my whenever we turn on a movie
All right.
in my house,
Oh, Marcy's right.
I always
We hate
turn I
noise.
turn the sound system up, I get yelled at.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time.
And me
we
and the
buy
kids and
the
boys like it.
expensive sound systems and all, and I've got 7.1 surround sound, blah, 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 blah. I never, ever get to hear it. I might as well have
This
a
is definitely
transistor.
a guy thing.
I mean,
It's definitely a guy
it is, it's a guy thing. But that's the problem. So, and my wife she's incredibly cool. She's a musician, so I would think that she would be hypersensitive to it.
You know what you need to do?
What?
Take her to see Mission Impossible at the extended theater experience down there in Disney World, whatever.
Yeah.
We saw that last night.
Was it good?
The music went up, the bass kicked in, everything was rumbling. I said to LaDon, I said, this is how it's supposed to sound at home, too. She wouldn't have a bit of it.
And she just, gosh,
Shit, like if it sounded like that, I would move out. Okay, but that's the difference. You know what it is? Is just like my wife can't tell the difference between audio. It all sounds good to her. A lot of people simply do not know what the difference is. They look at two photographers and they go, unless they're, like this.
It's underexposed, properly exposed.
Yeah,
The
if it's
difference between
properly
good and
exposed,
not
it looks
good
like that guy looks okay. And also sometimes it really depends on, did photographer A shoot a beautiful bride and groom, where photographer B shot not a beautiful bride and groom, and there are a number of not beautiful bride and grooms, not myself, of course, but others. But so I'm getting around to what our thing is, because I'm moving this around. But before I get there, I want to read a couple of comments, because the comments are coming based on what we've talked about so far. All right. Oh, Andrew writes.
That's a good one.
Oh, Andrew got the flip side of
Yeah.
this. Andrew says, show her some $50 shoes and then some $500 shoes. The light bulb will go on. LaDon's over there going, yeah. Kathy's like, oh, yeah. All right. So, okay, there you go. So, Veronica says, do you need a professional photographer? Not necessarily. Should you get one? If you want good photos, yes. Okay, well, this you'll hear more about this when we unveil the topic. So, Michael Szanski says, you wouldn't go to a hobby doctor. That's true. But can I tell you something, Michael? So, I'm driving down the street the other day. There's a sign, pressure washing. For my college fund and a kid's phone number. So there are certain things that, like, doctors are different. Your life is on the line. If I need you to shoot my kid's portrait, no one's life is on the line.
nobody's going to get hurt by
Pressure
this.
washing is one of those things. Like the pressure washing kid will probably wash the side of my house for $100. If I call a pressure washing service, it's going to be $500. Is the pressure washing service going to be bonded and licensed and probably do a
Insured,
better
if you
job?
mess up, yep.
Yeah. But you know what? At the end of the day, when you drive by my house, you won't be able to go, oh, they used the $100 kid. It's your house is going to be pressure washed.
And can I make a point about, I guess kind of about that whole point, because I know we still have to bring this around, and I think a lot more people will get this, but when you sell all of those different things to people, when you're selling, well, you know what, we know how to pose, we bring a backup camera, we bring, if we deliver your prints, we're not going to make sure that you get your book and all. When you sell those things to people, you're selling them on the disaster. You're selling them on this is what happens if something goes wrong. People don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
They're getting
Nancy's
married.
like-
They're getting married. It's a happy time for them. They think happy photos. I want to get cool photos. They don't think, and they don't want to think about the disaster. It's like, and it's not an exact similarity, but you go to buy a car. They sell you on the car. They say how great the car is. Everything's great. As soon as you get ready to sign the paperwork, they tell you just how big of a piece of crap that car is and why you should spend $4,000 more
On an extended warranty
an extended
and-
warranty for it. And it's not the same thing, but it's a long.
Nancy's got a.
To make it safer. It's the
Yeah.
Peel. But
Right.
that
Yeah.
it works. The fear appeal works.
It does for some people, but I think in general, people don't want to necessarily think about the disaster. They
Yeah.
want to think, I want cool wedding photos. So
Yeah, and they assume everyone's going to have a backup, right?
Oh, yeah, they
Yeah.
assume that, but I really wonder about the photographers that are renting equipment to shoot the thing in the first place.
Right. Hey, Brad had a great story. Brad, I wrote this down. So Brad had a friend who didn't have a lot of money, which means they weren't going to have a great photographer anyway. They hired somebody. The wedding's over, and they're not happy with the images at all.
And you hear those stories
You hear them
much more often
all the
than you
time.
did.
But here's the thing: what are they going to do now?
Right.
You know, once it's happened, there's really not much you can do. So, and the problem is should they have hired a pro?
You would,
Sure,
if
right?
it was important to them,
Right.
and you wonder why it wouldn't be.
So why didn't they? Because of money.
because it costs a lot of money.
Because it costs a
and
lot of money.
And they just wanted to like record the event. They just wanted to just record the event. Okay, we're getting married. Let's get a few photographs of somebody. We'll hire somebody, not family member, whatever. They're going to be dressed up. They're going to be part of the reception. So we'll get a few people over there. But what people don't realize is, unless you have the trained eye, you know what you're looking for. You know how to capture the moment. You know the sequence of events of a wedding day. There's so much that just gets missed out, and that's just in the storytelling aspect. But then there's a whole other creative aspect about the beautiful bridal portraits and the dramatic and all these other things that some people love to have too. Some people maybe not, but a lot of people do love that kind of stuff too. And I think that's where people are just kind of missing the boat on even looking that far, looking into that aspect
Right,
of wedding
but
photography.
they don't even realize all that stuff exists.
Exactly,
because
exactly.
their friends' wedding photos looked okay.
Okay.
From Uncle Jim.
I looked at my wedding photos that where I was married 22 years ago. No, I was married 22 years ago. I looked at my wedding photos. They were done by a professional photographer, and they're kind of crappy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks like on-camera flash, and it's
Mine was on, yep.
it's not very good and stuff.
Yeah.
And we hired a professional photographer so just hiring a professional photographer does not guarantee you. I sent Matt a website a few months ago where this guy had this much. I've been shooting for 31 years, on and on and on about his professionalism and da-da-da and how much experience and all. They were the worst shots you have ever.
And it was
David,
30 plus years.
30 plus years.
There's a
And-
huge bio about how long he's been shooting.
And I thought, I kid you not, I guarantee you, my 5-year-old daughter could have shot better shot. I mean, they were
point and shoot.
ghastly.
Yeah.
They were worse than point and shoot.
Yeah.
They were the Kodak disposable cameras, poorly processed as his portfolio. And we're like, so it's not just hiring, and because people that call themselves professionals today can be David Ziser, or they can be Uncle Joe.
Yeah.
And say, we're professionals and we do this and that. I mean, so it's just hiring a professional isn't. But we have. So now I'm trying to bring it around. Here we go. Bring it around. So wait. Before we bring it around, one last thing. You go to a wedding. How many people in the audience are shooting DSLRs anyway?
Oh, yeah. There's several of them doing that anymore.
You should have been to Dave Moser's wedding. Dave Moser, my buddy Dave, got married. I took a picture of all the photographers
That was pretty
shooting.
funny.
It was a funny picture of everybody. There's 15 photographers out there. If you have a wedding and you have 100 people, you're going to have 10 DSLRs.
I'm kind of giggling about this too, because when LaDonna and I were married, sort of a similar situation. When we cut the cake, you thought we were, I don't know.
It was paparazzi.
Paparazzi was going crazy.
It's one thing when a
Machine gun
photographer.
fire.
It's one thing when a photographer gets married. It's not. But I'm serious. We're at Dave's wedding, and there's 10 DSLRs for 50 people.
Uh-huh.
And so there's going to be people capturing the event anyway, and all. But so here's where I bring it around. I think that everybody watching would have to, on some level, realize that the market has changed.
Oh, definitely changed.
Now, you can do one of two things. You can move with the market, or you cannot. Now, there was a book written a number of years ago. I have it written down because I hate using this
And
paper.
real quick, while you're getting, I was going to tell Brad, because there's a lot of comments up there right now. All those comments are kind of trying to convince us why we need a professional. And
we know.
We know. We already know why we need
Yeah.
a professional. The show's not about how to convince your clients how you need a professional. Yeah, what if Uncle Joe's last name is McNally?
Yeah, what if Uncle Joe's just make sure he's from Connecticut?
But so I was going to just tell Brad that we can probably just get rid of most of those, because the show's not about how to convince your clients they need a professional.
Right.
The show's about what you're about to talk about right here.
Right. Okay. So there was a book that was very, very popular a few years ago. You know it. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? And the author's name is Spencer Johnson. A terrific book.
Great
It
book.
was about this big. It was very, 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 very small book, but it was brilliant. It was basically the story of two sets of mice. One set of mice run through the maze, and every day at a certain time, there's cheese there. They keep going and going and going and going. One day, these two mice go, and the cheese is gone. They literally, the researchers, picked up the cheese, moved it someplace else. The two mice go, well, doggone it, the cheese has moved. And so they start going and looking for the cheese, and of course, they find it, right? The two other mice go into the maze. They get there one day, because they've been getting the cheese every day, and their cheese is gone. And they're like, holy crap, our cheese is gone. And they basically go, well, this must be your fault. No, this must be your. And they sit there and argue about the good old days where the cheese was there.
Right.
They're not willing to just say, okay, it is what it is. The cheese has moved. Let's go find it. I think a lot of people today are stuck right there.
I agree with you. You know, and my career spans a number of generations of photographers from, pre-Monty Zucker almost, although Monty was one of my first instructors and so forth. So I've watched a lot of different changes of different styles throughout wedding photography over all these years. And unfortunately, what I've seen too, particularly with people my age that have been the seasoned pro for a long time, is a lot of these people had the cheese moved, but unfortunately they didn't go look for the cheese. They complained about the cheese being moved on them.
Right.
And I think I think it's sad. I think it's really sad because, you know, the new young guns out there that are doing a great job, they got to figure it out. Heck, they're just going after the cheese in a whole different, bigger way kind of thing.
And can I say that a lot of the people that you're talking about are probably, because I did a search before the show, and along the lines of what Scott was talking about, I did a search on Google for why hire a professional photographer. And it comes back with hundreds of thousands of pages and results. And so I just started clicking through every random one I clicked on. It was all a photography website telling you why hire a professional. And that's probably those people. That's those people that are complaining about it. So now they feel like they have to sell their clients on why to hire that professional. And a lot of them are sour. A lot of them aren't even really nice. Like, these are your clients you're trying to sell. I have one here. I'm not going to read the whole. I could read.
Read a little bit?
I'll read part of it because it is. It's kind. I won't say what site it's from. I don't have what site it's from. I don't even know where the heck it is. Let's see. Crap. Right here. Why should I hire? I had 3 pages, like how we went through them 3 times. Why should I hire a professional photographer for the shoot? Because you're a professional in your field as well. You probably want to get the best images possible, which are almost never the cheapest images. As we all know, the advent of digital has led to folks to, as it's true, the delete button in their digital cameras allows them to throw out of focus, awkwardly framed, miserable, exposed images instantly. Here's where I think the result is people taking bad pictures more than
bad
ever.
Pictures ever
and so it just kind of it starts talking about Uncle Fred and how bad Uncle Fred is and all those different things. So it's not even done in a really nice way, but I think it's a lot of those people that are writing those instead of figuring out what to do next.
Right.
So what I wanted to do for this show, and what the real theme of this show is number one, I want to give away 5 copies of that book because I think the book is brilliant. So we're going to give away 5 copies of Who Moved My Cheese, the hardcover version. You know what's interesting? The hardcover version is $2 cheaper than the Kindle version. Okay, but anyway, I'm going to give away 5 copies to somebody because it's a terrific read. It's
That's
funny.
a whole other topic, by the way, too.
It's kind of funny in its irony. But there are so many people. I can tell you a group, not just wedding photographers. The most bitter photographers that I've run into, period, are people shooting college and especially NFL football games. Matt, you've been there.
Oh, God.
You talk about an unhappy group. Now, you go shoot Indy racing. You go shoot motorcycle racing. You shoot almost any other sport. There's a camaraderie. But football shooters are like, man, the NFL has screwed us up. The NCAA has changed all the rules. They've taken away all our money. Getty's done this. This one's done that. AP's done this. They're mad at everybody. They're mad at everything, and it's just. It's the no fun league of photographers.
You walk into the room where all the photographers are when you're about to shoot a college football game, and you say, "Hey, everybody, how you doing?" They don't say it, but you can basically hear the screw yous in there.
Yeah, I mean, they're like...
because that's what it feels like.
You know what it's like walking into? Guys, you'll know. It's like walking into a crowded men's room. It's dead silent.
Yeah.
You walk into a crowded men's room, you don't hear a peep. That's the way it is. You'd think you get 25 photographers in a room in close quarters. There's laughing, there's joking, there's telling stories. It's silence. You go to an Indy race, and it's like a party. All the photographers are like, hey, man, everybody's hanging out and all. And because the first time I shot an Indy race, I was like this. Who are you people?
Yeah.
You're friendly. But there are groups of people that basically have gotten to this point where the cheese is gone, and they're not willing to move on. So this real topic of this is, what is our strategy for 2012? If we admit to ourselves that, yes, the market has changed, people
That's
don't
the
see-
first thing.
That's
They have
step
to
one.
They have to admit to themselves.
You have to admit to yourself the market's changed, and that the public no longer really sees a difference between a crappy photographer and a great photographer. So you might as well stop trying to do what Matt was talking about, explaining it in your website and pointing out all this stuff. The public generally doesn't care. There is a tiny market that says, I'm willing to pay $5,000 for my wedding photographer, $10,000 wedding for, or like David's clients, $25,000 for a wedding photographer. But there are people that are willing to pay and will experience the difference. But sadly, most people aren't. So if you admit that first.
And also admit that the wedding averages are going to be less in this day and age than they were back in film days, to be honest with you.
Right. And also, this isn't just wedding. I talk to portrait photographers all the time they're dying. Their business has died, and they're just going to beat it to death. But look at all the industries, magazines, books, FM radio, any of these.
Let's look at music.
Let's look at music.
Steve Jobs in the iTunes store. Look what that did to music.
Yeah.
And CDs and the whole bit too.
And you know what? And for some darn reason, AC/DC will not sell their music on the iTunes store. Why? Every band in the world, the freaking Beatles are on the iTunes store. AC/DC. Put your music. This is the biggest record store in the world. Freaking put your song. Have I gotten off topic?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Perfect
Anyway,
analogy.
okay. But and that's why I was so glad that David was going to be here because number
Perfect.
one, you're an incredible wedding photographer. People don't pay you the crazy amounts of money they do just for fun. So, but part of your gift is your marketing strategies. And dude, we're facing a year where it has never been harder to be a professional photographer than 2012 is going to be.
I agree.
If you are out there and you're listening and you agree two things: number one, that women hate bass, and number two, that the cheese has been moved, and we can't rely on people being smart enough to choose a pro photographer. What are we going to do? How are we going to make a living in 2012?
I tell you, I think it's true with every photographer. I think it's true for any profession. Actually, we have to work a whole lot harder than we ever did in the past. I've talked to my friends. My Kent and Sarah Smith run that $1 million studio in Columbus, Ohio. But you talk to Kent, and he says, "I've never worked harder in my life, year after year after year." So I think people have to work smart. They have to work hard to make that happen. I think they really have to be connected with the Google Plus and the blogs and the Facebook and everything else. And that's where a lot of the people my generation just never ever connected with that. They just, I don't want to do that. I mean, they were slow to the digital cameras. I mean, we were shooting digital cameras in 2000, 11, 12 years ago. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Fuji S1 Pro, one of the first fairly reasonably priced digital cameras. But you know what? Loved it. Saved a bunch of money on film and processing. Of course, we had post-production processing to take care of. But still, I think people have to be connected. They can't be afraid to be connected. And I think they also have to be extremely creative in how they're selling their product. I'm doing a blog post tomorrow, as a matter of fact, because I got this email. I was actually having a conversation with a fellow that's, he's in the service, stopped by our studio, actually on his way to Guam. He's starting his studio business. And he says, I'm pricing my work a little bit differently. He says, I'm charging to shoot the work, but he said, then I'm charging them a processing fee too. Oh my gosh, whoever even thought of charging a processing fee? Most of us photographers, a lot of the great
back in the film, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we put them on the CD, take them on the CD or DVD. Yeah, but he's smart enough to know that, number one, charge for the shooting. Number two, charge for the processing, because somebody's got to play around with all those Lightroom sliders and those Photoshop buttons and everything. Number three, album design. And number four, the album itself. So now he's got 4 different things that we can basically charge for. And I think say, well, I'll shoot it for you. It's going to be this much. I'll give you the CD. No. You've got to enhance the experience all the time. And this is where a lot of photographers, it drives me nuts, the amount of money that the CD, DVD shooters leave on the table to shoot and burn. So I'm not trying to step on any toes. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not doing that at all. But you know what? It takes the home run out of play, too, if you're just delivering on a CD. But that being what it is, if you're going to deliver on a CD, then charge for what's going on that CD. You know what?
I think that I was going to say that's because I was doing a lot of reading on this before the show, because wedding and portrait comes up a lot.
Yeah.
And that seemed to be the predominant problem that everybody was having, is the clients want the CDs. And so I think to go to Who Moved My Cheese,
And we have to face that.
your
these days.
customer's always right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
they're always
customer's
right,
always
yeah.
right. What and Scott said, what are we going to do for 2012? Listen to your customer. What do all the customers ask? I asked Jen, who's back in the control room, where she's getting married this year, and so I went over to her and asked her. I was like, so what do you want from your wedding? We went through a couple of things, and I said, do you want the images? And she goes, well, yeah, they're mine. I was like, legally, and she knew this. I was like,
Can I
legally.
interrupt? She's the director of the show. She's standing at the board. So, Jen, we're not laughing at you.
No. I told her we were going to do this, but she's like, well, they're mine, and she even said, she goes, legally, I know that they're theirs, but she's like, I should get them. She's like, they're of me. Why isn't he giving them to me? You know, should be, charge me whatever you're going to charge me, but let me have the images.
And back in the film days, that was never an issue, because we had the film, we had the negatives. We were going to take good care of those negatives. They were going to be archived on and on and on. But these days, there's so much trading of all the images anyway, Facebook, whatever, all along, everybody thinks, well, yeah, they're the photographs. I want my photographs. But the reason they want to call them theirs is because there's so much they can do with those images these days.
Right.
The clients years ago could do nothing with a negative. What are they going to do? Go to wherever and get them printed?
they
They
don't
might
want
have
them.
a print.
Yeah, they didn't want them.
Yeah.
They didn't want them, but now they do want them because they can do so much with the imagery. But that's part of that cheese being moved. That's why they want the images.
So I heard what you said about the home run is on that disc. You don't really want to give them the disc, but like Jen says, and she makes a great
let me
point.
say about the home run thing. I mean, this is something because we don't deliver many of our weddings on a CD, but every now and then, it comes up if I'm shooting particularly for another photographer or something like that. But the home run, I'm thinking I got to tell this story, but because this will never, ever, ever, ever happen to a shoot and burner. So I have a client come in, and this is a big wedding in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's a big, big event in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I'm shooting it for 3 days. We're doing the rehearsal. We did the engagement party. We did the wedding. We did the Sunday brunch. 3 days of shooting. I shoot 7,800 images. I edit that down to 4,000 images for the client. And I'm going to think, how in the world am I going to get through 4,000 images of this client? So I know, and she's good, mother of the brides, she's pretty good with it. So I go out to their home, beautiful, beautiful mansion in Cincinnati. I make the first presentation in their home, projector, the whole bit. And she said, now, David, I'll come over to your place the next time. Well, great. So she comes on in, and she said, oh, you have a really nice deck. I'm thinking, well, you got really nice horse stables in your backyard. I got a deck in my house. But anyway, she comes in, and we work through it. We had the second meeting and then the third meeting. At the end of these 4,000 photographs, we're now looking at the images, and she says, oh my gosh, how many did I order? And I'm doing a quick count. I'm doing a big smile inside, by the way. But she says, I said, well, it looks like you have selected about 1,200 images. And she says, 1,200 images, how many albums would that be? I said, looks like it's going to be about probably 6 albums. And then it's the next thing she said. She says, you know what? Well, my gosh. And she giggles. She says, okay, we'll take the 6 albums. And you know what? Let's do that for the bride and the groom. And let's do 6 for my husband and I. And let's do 6 for the groom's mom and dad, too. And all I could think is, I hate to say it, ching, ching, sorry.
Oh, my gosh, that is a home run.
That's the home run.
That's a grand slam.
That's a grand slam home run. And you know what? That's part of the fun of being in the business. I mean, a home run, a triple, is part of the fun of being in the business.
That makes your year there.
It makes a year. And granted, this doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it feels good when it does happen too. And it's because you put your soul, your heart, all your energy, your creativity into something like that. And like we were saying, there's a small percentage of people that really appreciate doing that.
Right.
But again, most of the people don't really have that kind of experience. Most of the people got the brides wanting the DVD. They want the images on DVD. So what can we do to change that whole thing? How can we chase the cheese?
Charge enough for it.
Charge enough for the shoot, number one. And then number two, look at other things and build expectations for other things that they will want to buy. You want just crummy pictures on the CD? I'm sorry, my reputation's on the line for that. I'll give them to you on the CD or DVD, but I'm going to make them look great because you're going to want them up on Facebook. You're going to want to print them for family, friends, or something like that.
Say that whole thing again.
You're going to want them to look great because you're going to want them you're going to want to get them up on Facebook. You want to be looking good for whoever's looking at those photographs.
So I'm going to charge you a post-processing
So I'm gonna have
fee.
to charge you a post-processing fee.
Yeah, just
to make those images look the way you want them to look when you put them on.
Exactly.
Facebook.
The shoot's $1,000. The post-processing fees $500,000,
whatever
whatever
the
it
numbers
is.
are, whatever everybody's comfortable
Because
with. Right?
and if you want the disc, that's what I have to do. Because
And you know what else I would do too? here's another thing. Everybody thinks you have to get the big book, the big album delivered. That's something less and less photographers are dealing with. So, you know what we do is we'll have an album and we show it to them on an iPad. You know what? It's cool to see a whole layout of all those images, storytelling images, left side to right side, unfold as they just swipe those pictures back and forth. And I say, and we do an album design for you too. You can load it right up on your iPad. Oh my gosh, how much is that? Well, it's another $300 or $400 or whatever. And then you can say, you know what? On your 20th anniversary, you might not have that iPad. You're going to sit on your lap with your honey and flip through those images. It just might be the time to maybe pull out an album that you could sit there and enjoy on your 20th or 25th anniversary. And maybe even when the grandkids come over, page through that album on your lap, with them on your lap as you look through.
Right, because you're right. Because it's just like we're worried about raw formats being out of.
Yeah.
You know, that they get deleted. Like Kodak, you try to read a Kodak CD today, you're like, you know.
Yeah, right.
So you're right. If they do buy the iPad version, great. Mm-hmm. But there may not be an iPad 10 years from now. They may be using something completely different, and iPads may be as obsolete as 8-track tapes, and then so there's a great reason. But what I'm seeing from you, David, and correct me if I'm wrong, but do you agree that your average shooter is probably going to have less weddings to shoot this year?
Probably so.
So you're going to have to find a way to make more money from the weddings that you are going to shoot.
Exactly.
Through extending your products. And what you said, what was great was you have 4 different things. If they say, oh, no, we only want options 1 and 2, at least you have 2.
Yeah, at least
you're
2.
getting paid on 2 things where you used to get paid on 1.
Shooting the wedding.
I want to read some comments. I want to go real back quick. I want some more things for 2012, but I'll read a couple of comments. Monty Lamontagne.
We know how to pronounce it now.
Says your competition will only drag you down if you spend all your life focusing on them. And he's got a quote here from Walter Gretzky, who is probably not as good a hockey player as Wayne Gretzky. Don't look at where the puck is. Look at where it's going to be. Right. So that's a very, very good one. David D says, start a business where you reshoot a wedding or portrait session. You can make a fortune fixing others' photographers' mistakes. You need to find what makes you different. You can be the film shooter of your city, or you can be the photographer who excels in compositing. Find what makes you different. You know, that is a very, very good piece of advice.
It is good. And the first sentence, because I think there's partially tongue-in-cheek there. You know, you can make fortune fixing other photographers' mistakes, but it's the thought process. If you're a photographer today, because let's take this out of portrait and wedding and assume that if you're a portrait and wedding photographer and you want to succeed in 2012, part of what you may have to consider is do you branch out from portrait and wedding photography?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And I encourage everybody go read Scott Kelby's blog today. So Tim Wallace did a guest post.
Yes. Oh,
so
Tim.
Go to scottkelby.com, and if you're watching this on some other day, it's Wednesday, January 4th, that Tim Wallace did a guest post on there. And Tim is probably the perfect story for that. A guy who's laid off of his job. And he went and he looked at a need. He found a need in the industry, and he went and he started shooting for it. And it was when you read the story, you realize like how out of the box he was really thinking about that. But that's what it could take.
Look at some of his car photos. They were just on screen. He's like one of the world's leading automotive photographers. He shoots for Jaguar. He shoots for Aston Martin. He does unbelievable stuff. You're just seeing a small portion of it there. But if you go to the second page, he's got some other. Look at these images. Some of these images he's got on here. Well, go to the second page. The second page has got incredible stuff on it because these are a little small, but you'll. Yeah, scroll to the second page.
Oh, Ooh, football photos.
No, yeah, click on right there. Look at some of these images because he's really sick. He's a sick pup.
Well, and he's made himself known as the detail guy. So all these little detail shots, he's made a business for himself on being the detail guy.
And you know, I follow him on Google Plus, Matt. You know what he says every week? I'm off to Spain to shoot such and such.
Yeah.
I'm off to France to shooting this. Look, I'm in China. I mean, that guy is everywhere.
But to bring it back around, who moved my cheese? What are you going to do about it for 2012? Look at other places where you can make money with your photography.
So
get out of the mindset of if you're a portrait wedding photographer and the business is going down and you can't get enough of that business, you've got to find something else.
You got to segue to something else. I like a lot of the female photographers. Lynn Michelle, a good friend of mine from Dallas, a great photographer, doing 6 figures in IT. Her husband's an accountant. She was shooting boudoir weddings on the side. She tells her husband, she says, I really enjoy doing the photography more. I'm going to quit my $100,000 a year job. He said, you're going to do what? What? Anyway, now she's doing 6 figures on the wedding side. In 6 years, she's doing her 6 figures. But she's energetic. She's connected. And here's something else.
She has a job she loves.
She has a job she loves. And she's connected, not just on Facebook and Google+, but she's connected with all the vendors in Dallas as well. She shot the Super Bowl party. She shot the Bacardi VIP party last year. And she's only like 5'3". She got herself in the sidelines of the Super Bowl too last
Did she?
year. Yeah, she did.
Jeez, I hate her already.
But the thing is these people got it figured out. It's about being connected, not just online, but being connected with the vendors too. And here's something else, too, I think is important. Part of the problem is there is so much stuff out there. You can't even see the forest for the trees. You can't find the good photographers because there's so many photographers out there. So how do you connect with the general public out there? I think you have to separate yourself, differentiate yourself one more time. You know what? One of the things I've said for years is give speeches at local civic groups. You know what? When you're in front of your Rotary or your garden club or whatever, you're the expert. And you got a whole new buying public in front of you that isn't searching for you, but have found you when they're ready to go searching for the wedding photographer. So you're putting your name in front of their face before they're even thinking of it.
Well, that's just smart marketing. I mean,
Yeah.
and you do that for anything, you know, any business that you want. Many years ago, I used to be a financial consultant, and I used to do seminars literally at trailer parks. I would go to trailer parks because in Florida, if you go to a trailer park and you promise to buy, well, you actually don't have to promise, you do. You show up with donuts from, like a big thing of donuts. 200 people will come to eat your donuts and watch your presentation because they're retired. They have nothing else to do. Now, this is very well known in Florida. It's a marketing thing, works great. I would show up and I would have people, and I kid you not, that are living in a single wide or double wide trailer, and they would bring me their statement from their current broker, and they would have $4 million. Wow. And I'd be like, oh, I love you. Have another donut. Anyway, but I want to read a couple of comments. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we have a time to read a couple more comments. I want to wrap up with David, and we're going to have 3 minutes to ask embarrassing questions of us, including David, because he's here, not just of me, it's all of us, and Nancy. If you have embarrassing questions for Nancy, Brad's here, Pete's over here, RC's somewhere. Meredith, anybody you want to ask, we're going to take a short break. Don't go away. We'll be right back here on The Grid.
Even look.
Hi everybody, I'm David Ziser. Hey, we have one great Kelby training video coming your way, and this time it's going to be on couples. What I'm trying to bring to this video is find the great locations to get some great photographs of your couples, how you can put great lighting on your couples, and then also how you can get great expressions. I can guarantee that you're going to love it. Join me on this Kelby training video, Shooting Couples.
Hey, we're back. Scott Kelby here with David Ziser. Ziserific. Hey, our sponsor of the show is MPix. They are just phenomenal. They are the photo lab we use. We love them. We love them for sponsoring our show. Way before they sponsored our show, before there even was a grid. We love them. I sent stuff there for this holiday.
So Christmas Eve, or the day before Christmas Eve, because I was leaving that day. I was in the office printing something that I was giving as a gift. And all I kept thinking to myself was, why didn't I just freaking send this yesterday? I just forgot. I forgot, and next thing you know, I'm leaving the next day.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
I wouldn't have gotten there in time.
So we all have printers, and we love them. We've got great Epson printers. Any kind of printer, doesn't matter what you have, works great if you use it all the time. If you haven't used your printer in about 4 weeks, Matt, how long does it take you to get one print out of the printer?
It was an hour before I got the print.
See, you drag and drop. MPix is an online photo lab. You had a great statistic about online photo labs. You were telling me real early what you're hearing from the photo labs about the quality of what's coming in.
Yeah, just talking about this whole thing about so many shooters out there is that the level of quality of photography coming through the labs is at the all-time low right now, what they're seeing, which is... It's kind of sad too, I think. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Hey, Benjamin Sander, who wrote in here, says, how to make it in 2012? Stop complaining and use the time to promote yourself. There you go, buddy. Kevin wrote in that Scott Bourne says, I'm not charging for the time it took me to shoot. I'm charging for the years of experience it took me to be able to get the shot. And Tim says, so what you're saying, Scott, is it's a bad time for me to leave my current job to open my own studio.
Okay.
Look at it this way. There's probably a better time than now.
Well, and you know what? I wanted to comment on the other one, but you know what, Tim? If you're thinking of opening your own studio, go to the area that you're going to open the studio in. find who your customers are going to be, and find out. Don't just open a studio thinking like, hey, I think there's a good market here. I mean, you got to figure out if there is. But I wanted to comment on Kevin's and he quoted Scott Bourne. I love Scott Bourne, great guy. So I kind of have to disagree because what Scott said, I'm not charging for the time it took to do the shoot. I'm charging for the years of experience it took me to be able to get the shot. So what you're having to do when you tell your clients that is you're having to convince them why they should. Not only are you having to convince them to use you, so now you have barrier number one. Make them use you above all your other competition, which is hard enough. But when you tell them all this other stuff, and I think that's what we're talking about today, is now you're having to convince them about a whole other set of things. Now you're having to convince them why they should spend all this extra money with you or anything like that. And I think that's probably one of the harder parts that's out there. Convincing them not just to go with you over your competition, but now why should they even use you over Uncle Fred?
And you should never be in this defensive posture anyway when you're trying to book your wedding photography.
Right.
Never, ever. It should be an affirmative kind of a connect with your client. And that's the thing is you have to first of all connect with the client. I mean, there's a wide generation between me and the clients I'm booking these days, but you still have to engage them. You have to engage them at a level. I had a client in just the other day. I did the girl's bat mitzvah, I don't know, 15 years ago. We came in, hooked up. Her mom was, we were having a good time.
You guys hooked up?
No, we didn't hook up that way. We just kind of.
Dawn's right here.
Just kind of reminiscent.
That's pretty good for a quick meeting.
But we had a great visit with the client, and the bride and I just giggled away. There was no generation hindrances or anything. We just giggled away, and I can't wait to be shooting her wedding. I think we photographers have to be a little less defensive about you should hire a photographer because of this, and I do this and I do that. Forget all that stuff. Get connected with the client when you're talking to them. You ain't selling your photography. You're selling yourself.
And you know what? They're going to hire the photographer they liked the best.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. Hey, go back to what that gentleman said about leaving my current job and open a studio. What I would say is I would never, ever talk anybody out of following their passion. Because if it's something that you cannot wait to get out of bed to go to work in the day, that is a blessing beyond. I mean, I have that job. You have that job. Matt has that job. Pete will one day have that job. But that's just an
Not as
incredible
long as
blessing.
I can help it.
You will work so hard at something that you're passionate about and that you love. But if you're going to quit your day job and open your own studio, you better not be a shark at photography. You better be a shark at business.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You better be really, really, really good. Brad's pointing to a comment that I can't see because it's so low on the screen, but it says something about...
It's all about marketing. It's all about marketing, not how good you are over the competition.
And David will tell you that is, I mean, obviously, the people that hired David are that small minority that are like, I really know the difference. I really want the difference. They've seen what spectacular photos can look like, and they go, I'm willing to pay for that. But again, that market is shrinking. Nancy, we're going to go to you real quick. Let's pick some winners for our prizes. We've got 2 books, a ticket to my seminar, and 5 of the cheese. I just tell people what to do, and we'll let them do it.
Also, start sending in your questions, too.
Yeah, our embarrassing questions. We're taking those for like 3 minutes.
And don't forget Photo Pro Expo.
A lot of questions.
Just
put the name of the prize that you want and your email address in the live blog and hit enter, and I won't publish it, but we'll go through afterwards and pick the winners and email them.
Wow, that was pretty easy. Hey, don't forget, we're also giving away a pass to the Photo Pro Expo.
So there's Photo Pro Expo.
There's all kinds of prizes today.
Of Scott's
This Prize
book.
City.
There's a copy of Matt's book. There is a ticket to one of your seminars, and there's 5 copies of Who Moved My Cheese.
Doggone. All right. Hey, we're going to take a couple of
embarrassingly personal
questions, which we have none at all. So good. We're
good.
Does my avatar make me look fat?
Yeah. Does my avatar make me look fat? It's not your avatar. Okay. That's. I was telling my son that. So my son is 15. Well, it'll be 15 in a couple of days. He has a girlfriend, and I said, I want to give you a couple of tips about dating. If your girlfriend ever says, "Do these pants make my butt look big?" Your answer should be, "It's not the pants." No, it's not. No, it's totally kidding. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Big. If anything, it makes your butt look small. Okay. We don't have any embarrassing questions.
There's a couple coming through. It's just kind of hard to field them between all of the email addresses that are. I don't want to publish
everyone's entering the contest.
Address.
We probably picked a stupid question. Let's see. Christopher Arnold Designs asks an embarrassing question for Scott. Who was the gassiest person on the set? I would never really say that out loud. No one here No, come on, that's crazy. Is gassy. So no, there's no one at all here from Cincinnati.
Yeah, I took
the
my-
greater Cincinnati area. I can tell you right now.
Flatulent
The
Cincinnati.
flatulence capital of the world. The
I took my
flatulence.
Beanos before I hit
Oh,
sat
good.
down here today. I'm good to
Thank
go.
you. Hey, so who cut my cheese? So hey, we're out of time, and we don't have any questions. So what?
There's a few actually.
There's a few. Or any?
Read
any
one,
good?
Nance.
Read one, Nancy. You can just read away.
If we don't like it, we won't
Yeah,
answer.
someone wants to know. Oh, that's not an embarrassing question. Oh, that's kind of a stupid question.
Well, they don't have to be embarrassing.
Okay.
Don't try to find ones that make us look stupid, Nancy. But
Someone wants to know what your favorite 8-track is. Someone wants to know if you have any shirt that isn't black. I mean,
I can tell you right now. I can tell you.
The answer to the second question's no. He doesn't even-
Seriously, it's the funniest thing to open my drawer. So I have 2 drawers of black shirts, and they all have my wife's like, do you ever go out without a logo? Like sometimes I'll wear a logo shirt and a logo jacket and a hat with a logo. So it's like going out with a NASCAR driver. All my shirts are black.
Here's a question. Someone wants to know, what is the worst pick you made as a professional? Picture.
Worst picture?
Yeah.
The worst picture.
Oh man, I've made some football photos that are staggeringly bad. Go to my Google Plus page and check out. Not yesterday, the day before, I put up some pictures that I took on assignment for a wire service at the Outback Bowl, and I showed some of the pictures that I didn't actually upload to them.
Yeah.
Hey, we are completely out of time. David, thank you very much for being here.
Thanks.
We
I
will see
appreciate
you in the dates for the conference again.
February 2nd, print competition, 3rd, 4th, and 5th for programming, all day with Jerry Johannes on the 6th.
Jerry Johannes. I'll be there, and you won't be there.
I won't be there.
because it's really
You can
high end
come up.
it's
You
the
get a
top
special-
of the top.
you get the special discount code.
There's one of my pictures right there. That's it's easy to get the goalpost in the shot,
But it's not easy to get the crowd so in focus like you did. Do you know what I mean?
And look, it's a touchdown. You can see he's catching the ball. So
You were just trying to get the crowd's reaction there.
I really wanted the crowd's reaction. So I think that's kind of it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank MPix for
Thanks,
sponsoring us. We're glad to be back here. David, thank you. You are always terrific
pleasure.
to have
Thank
on
you.
the show. You always bring a lot to it. Matt, you were beautiful just as a person.
Yeah, I'm eye candy.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
And thanks to everybody watching at home. Hey, do us a favor. Please kind of spread the word about the grid. We're back on the air for our season that will never end. So please tell your friends about us and go to MPix. Also, you can find me on Google+. I have no idea what my address
Scott
is.
G Plus.
Scott G and spell out plus.
ScottGplus.com.
ScottGplus.com. You are.
MattGplus.com.
MattGplus.com. You are. Are you on Google+?
I'm just barely on Google.
Oh, David.
He will. No, you know what? I have no doubt that he will be very, very soon. He will. I know David.
I'm on
He's-
it, but I'm not active on it.
I know
Okay.
David will.
Dude,
David will.
get active on it.
He will.
It is a wonderful community for photographers. Kathy's on there all the time. All right, so
I hear it's great.
it's awesome. It really is. Brad's on there. Pete's on there. Everybody's on there. Nancy, you on Google+? You're there. All right, we're all there. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you guys next week, next Wednesday, right here live on The Grid. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody.
It's gritty. Gritty.
This week's episode of The Grid is sponsored by MPix. Shoot today, upload tonight, we ship tomorrow. Manfrotto. Imagine more. On One Software that gets you back to shooting.
Adorama, more than a camera store. And Tiffin, helping create the world's greatest images.